Are we good? Turn that up, Michael. Mark, go sound that wall or that door for us. Hey, everybody. I just want to introduce this. This is the Branded Film and Media Podcast. My name is Kason Caraway. We've got Marie Rieger and Cooper Reed. I want you guys to say hi.
Hello.
And we have a guest today. Let's turn that music down and introduce Mark Ary with Ary Co. out of Decatur, Texas.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Oh, you're like a podcast celebrity.
Yeah, so he's been on
Yeah.
quite a few of them, and actually has started a few and been on a few, and you still consider having one. Is that the case?
That's exactly right.
How did-
Unfortunately, I lost my partner, so I've kind of been stale for a while. But
Well, that
yeah.
kind of happens, and you still. I've listened to quite a few of them. That Wise Weekly one was really interesting. I think you had some pretty good local guests, and that's kind of one thing that we envied about that is that we wanted to focus on people that are in our community first
Sure.
and really get that going. And we've done some people with Montana out calling in, but Wise Choice Custom Meat, Sally Rogers, and Beverly Ross, and here you are. I guess you're on episode number 7. Is that correct?
wow, you guys have already done 7.
7 episodes.
So we've been trying to
awesome.
pump out at least once a week, and now we got 2 in this week. So that
Mhm.
helps out a lot. As you know, that takes a lot of effort to get that done.
Absolutely. Honored to be here. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Mark, tell us a little bit about you. And, I know you've been in Decatur your whole life just like me. And so I think a lot of your uprising was a lot like mine.
Yep.
And we'll kind of focus on that. Tell the consumers about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I was born and raised here in Decatur, Texas, and it's a place that holds very near and dear to my heart. I've been fortunate to travel all around the world, and I really believe that Decatur, Texas, has like the best people per capita of anywhere I've ever been. I don't know if it's the moral aspect, of how we were raised here, or partially just because it's Texas, and Texas is, let's be serious, it's got to be at least the best state, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of places too in Texas. It's just the hospitality,
home.
Yeah.
it's the kindness, and just the warmth down here. for
Yeah,
sure.
it's different. It's unique. So there's no place I'd rather be living than right here in Decatur, Texas, in Wise County. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what a cool time.
what a
I
cool
mean,
time.
Yeah.
We are all on this edge of great growth.
Yeah,
we,
that's right.
we have these companies that are ready for it, or being proactive, and we can just kind of see the future in all
Well,
of
and
our
the amount of
companies.
companies that are moving here, from all over. I heard that we're going to have a pretty large outfit in Bridgeport. It's going to be a meat packers.
That's great.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
What
you
an industry that's taken off,
Yeah, and there's supposed to be a new slaughterhouse in Boyd.
well, maybe
Is
that's what I
that
was talking.
it?
Yeah,
It could
I
be the
think it's
same
in
thing somewhere.
Bridgeport.
Yeah.
I heard this guy came in and bought just a ton of land and some buildings and a really nice house
Yeah.
over in Bridgeport, and yeah, he's going to be in a pretty large company.
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
didn't hear
Energy
that.
WorldNet, and
Yes.
I just got back from Bentonville, Arkansas, and to be honest, I really wasn't excited about going because I was like, okay, I'll go to Arkansas,
Mhm.
Walmart, iRoll. It blew me out of the water to see what billions and billions and billions could do for a community.
Right.
You
And
say
with the
Walmart
correct-
because that was where the first Walmart was established.
Yes, and
yeah.
it's
And
still
you're saying the
on.
ripple effect from Walmart spreading into the community?
No, they as their wealth grew, it started on the square 5 and 10 store. It's still there. It's red and white. It's pretty cool. And so he just built this empire. And so as the family accumulated all this wealth, it was important to them to keep Bentonville the same.
Wow.
So it grew, but it stayed small with charm. And then the art museum, and it's now the mountain biking capital of the world, which I have this hat on. It just blew me away, and I thought, this is Decatur.
Yeah, it could
We're
be.
gonna have these great companies moving in here, ready to feed money into the community, to make this a good place for their employees to live. And it was weird. Like I could see the future.
I felt
It's
that.
not, it won't be billions like Walmart,
Yeah,
maybe,
no,
but
Well, one thing I think, being as involved with the community as I have been, and been part of the 2050 Long Range Master Plan, it was very
Sat on that board with you.
me
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It was very important to everybody to try and preserve our small town community in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think so far we've achieved that.
Yeah, because we've kept some chains off the square. I mean,
Yes.
we have Hey Sugar, but what I mean, and Sweetie Pies, that's a
I
part
mean,
of.
Fuzzy's is as big of a chain as any.
I
Right
would
now,
say
isn't
that Fuzzy's is probably the largest
Yeah,
chain
the
that we
biggest
have there. And
chain, but the rest
Yeah.
are like,
Mhm.
small
Local.
business
It's not real
owners.
corporatized at all.
No.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they're still struggling to figure out how to survive during COVID, and or back when COVID was happening. I mean, it's just a tough thing for them, and so as a small business, and they overcame because our community supported them. I mean, that's
Mhm.
That's
what I'm
right.
trying to say is like we're still small enough, mom and pop enough to feel the warmth and the
You
love from the
bet.
community to help keep the doors open. I was talking to
Mhm.
Matt Fisher last night at Trinity, and just sitting there, he goes, Kason, I'll never forget COVID because, and why do we keep talking about COVID? But I don't know how to do this. All I'm saying, but he goes, I'll never forget, we couldn't sit a single person down. We had a line of people ordering to go drinks and to go food. It was just to go only. And he goes, I just had to try to find a way to keep the doors open. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah.
He goes, but he was talking about the community love and support. And he was opening up the new restaurant next door, or building it at the same time. So if our community, we're back full circle, our love for our town, our state, our community, we support these businesses. So if anybody's listening to this wanting to come to Decatur, Texas, this is us telling you as local representatives, people that are part of this community fully, you're going to have the love and support, and hopefully that spills over
That's right.
into what Marie's talking about. Just, I watched Cardinal Paint give away 30,000 plus at their grand opening event
Wow.
Mhm.
to local organizations from, Warm to the high school to,
So
different
cool.
CASA, all the ones in town. And they hadn't even opened the doors yet. They were that's what
Wow.
big companies come. So
Yeah.
our town inviting these big companies is going to spill over. So
Well, it's a beautiful thing too, because I ran into one of the gentlemen that works for Cardinal, and he's from over in England
he'd
originally.
speak to you about services with us.
He talked, yeah. Actually, I think we have a meeting coming up with them at some point.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good
So,
job.
but he was just he was super passionate about bringing jobs and helping the
Sure.
community and things like that. Just and I didn't know him from Adam, but he was super passionate about it. Someone who's lived in San Diego prior and from England originally, but his love that he wants to share with this community through Cardinal Paint
Yeah.
kind of blew me away. And it was
That's
really
so
cool to see a
cool.
big corporation like that come in and do things.
Proud to have them.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
speaking of employees, I mean, you went from you doing most of all the services in your company, and do you want to talk a little bit about your company and how many employees you have now and where you came from?
Yeah. So I'm a second generation business owner. My father started this company in 1982. And I saw him, ride the waves, the ups and the downs of business. And
In a very small town.
in a very small town. I mean, so, picture this. My dad moved here in 1982 as a foreigner from the Middle East to this little, Podunk, Texas town. And definitely, it had its challenges, but he was met with a lot of love here too, for the most part, a lot of love, very accepting. It might have taken a few years, but him and my mom knew pretty quick that they had just stumbled upon a great community. So, anyways, Dad built a pretty good business here for many years and laid a great foundation. But when he passed away in 2010, it was just him and my brother, and they had a couple hands working for him. It was a relatively small company, but like I said, he laid the groundwork for the possibility of what it could be, and I saw that opportunity, and started out, really officing in a small office out of the back of my house, and then we built our place over here on the other side of the square behind Brandy's, and then now ultimately we're in a warehouse that I really only could have dreamed of being in.
It's awesome.
It's been a heck of a ride. I can't even really put into words the pace that this past 6 years has gone. I look back and I told my mom just last week, like I couldn't have written down a business model like the one like this journey I've been on. I couldn't have written it down with a little bit of luck and such a good community. And I've been really fortunate to assemble a great team of people, and I've always said that you're truly only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and I've got a heck of a team, and that's something I'm really proud of. Your employees are the biggest reflection of your company, good, bad, or indifferent. They are, and
they're your biggest investment as
they're
well.
your biggest investment. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that not only are the people that work for me good at what they do, they're all good human beings. They're all
They
good
are.
people.
They're so great.
So I was told, Mark and I have had these conversations about employees and hiring. You know, you're always one step away from hiring the right person to keep, you know, to at least have some sanity and,
Right.
and I'm getting to that point where I'm young in a career and trying to hire people and hire the right people. When you hire that right person, it just, as we know, I mean,
Mhm.
coming together, the right people are, gosh, we always talk about this podcast, but it's about the people. It really is. And
Yes.
so we're talking about that. Maybe that's just what we focus on here. But one thing that y'all talked about, your employees are your biggest investment. I was told by my consultant, Joy Rhodes, who works with me, that my employees and my team is my biggest client. So when one of my guys or girls are calling me, I need to answer that just as if it was the biggest
Absolutely.
money guy in town,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
right? Because if you take care of your employees, they're going to make your business more financially stable if you take care of your employees. So
Well-
I treat my employees as my biggest clients because that's my
Mhm.
goal.
The way that I view that, and you're exactly right. You're setting a precedent for every single one of those people that work for you, and you have sold them your dream, and they are essentially buying into your dream. And if you're not someone who actively involves your employees in that, they would have no reason to stick around and buy into your dream. And I think it's important to recognize those people as much as possible. You guys, Marie's been doing my marketing for many years, and
What are you, 4+ or 5? Or-
Yeah, it's 4, I think,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
So
That's
The-
awesome.
The main direction
That's
I've
so
given
great.
it is make sure and highlight as many of my employees as much as possible,
Hmm.
and less about me, more about them.
Yeah, and I love this. Just stuck in my brain. You said you wanted young people to see that and think, I want to work
Yeah.
for Ary.
mhm.
Like I want to grow up and work for Ary and drive one of those trucks. And so we market your employees. We hardly ever talk about AC or
Yep.
you know, it's just it's the people that work there, and it's fun and it's funny and
Have you done anything for trying to promote kids coming out of a high school or anything like
Oh.
that? Classes?
So we used to teach a class over at Weatherford College.
Really?
And we just got kind of too busy for that. And then I had spoke with a gentleman about coming up with a vocational class over at Chico High School. Unfortunately, he didn't get reelected to the school board, so I don't know where that's going. But that is something that we are going to be diving into. We're going to be doing a few scholarships because I think it's right now, especially in this climate, these young kids are looking for direction on what they're going to do. And the sooner that they can have an idea of what they'd like to do, the better.
Mhm.
As we all know now, when our age, whenever we graduated high school, you're almost made out to feel like you were a little bit of a loser if you didn't go to college.
Right, because it was ROI, and there was a good return.
Sure.
Like if you went, you had a good chance.
Sure.
But now they have less of a chance,
That's
unless
right.
they're going to be doctors or lawyers or engineers. It's the way the market is. It's just
And
not.
coming out of high
It's just
school
not that
now,
That's
that
right.
path.
in
That's right.
2021 has never been a better time to make a great income for a 18, 19-year-old. Like they can make more money than their parents made when they were.
You're not kidding.
I mean, they can make a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I mean, way more than what I made coming out of high school. You know, shoveling dog poop or something. You
You're
know
not
what I mean?
kidding.
Like,
That's right.
Yeah, Gage and Carson started Rap Media for Rieger and Tibbles,
yes.
and we were kind of stressing out about their taxes.
Because they
Like,
started making
whoa,
money.
They made how much in one day?
That is funny.
Yeah, starting a business right now, you know, it's a great time to start up a business. But I'm a big fan of trades, like what you're talking about. You know, like
Mhm.
I'd
trading.
love to find a way to.
Yeah. I
Be
was a
part of that
surgical
more.
tech. I was a certified surgical tech. And if I would have, maybe thought back after high school, like, hey, I can get out and make a little bit of money and put back something, maybe I would have gone to be
Yeah.
a certified surgical tech right out of high school rather than
Sure.
think I needed to go, to university or
Sure.
all that stuff. You know
Mhm.
what
I mean,
So,
I watch, kids graduating last year that went to college and they didn't stick it out because of COVID had a big influence on
Oh.
their decision whether they're going to stay there. They hated college, honestly. I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
spoke to you. You literally had a first year college in COVID. He
Hmm.
probably didn't have the greatest time because a lot of it was shut down. I'm sure he had a great time partying and all that, but like, like I'm just saying, like, the social interaction of in a classroom setting was a big part of my
Yeah.
day in
Yeah,
college, and I
and
loved
the
that.
rec
You
and-
bet.
Yeah.
It was
Having
fun.
that yanked out from underneath you and it all being virtual.
Oh heck no, I wouldn't have
I
stayed
know.
either. I hated
I know.
school. I know I didn't. I'm glad I have a college degree, but I did not enjoy schoolwork.
Sure.
And
I don't feel like it helped me run my company better. It was all just hurdles.
Mhm.
Going to the class, taking the test, blah blah
So-
blah blah. And I have a good degree in marketing,
Yeah.
And
but
it does
I don't
tell-
use any of it.
Wow.
If I do, I don't remember it because I was
Well,
partying too
the
hard.
marketing degree I got, it was about business marketing, and it was nothing about social media marketing, which is what I decided to
I'm
focus on.
old. They just came out with MySpace maybe 2 years after I graduated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was no social media
Yeah,
marketing.
same here.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I do want to say though that having my college degree has allowed me to, when I'm standing in the presence of people that do have older people that have their degrees and are investors looking into utilizing me to, the conversation they had is, well, what college you go to? And luckily, I made the decision to stick it out and get a college degree, so I was able to answer. I went to the University of North Texas and I got a degree.
Mhm.
It gave me some credibility. So I don't know if that credibility, it's worked for me. I'm glad I have a college degree. I don't use it as in like in real estate, but it gives me credibility and it got me in the door in places that I probably wouldn't have back
Yeah.
in before this, real estate career. So I don't know. I think
Mine
that's
allowed me to teach for 9 years, oddly enough, because you need a college degree.
that's so true.
And that was incredibly fulfilling. But I just used it to get my teacher certification. And
I don't have
loved
any
that.
regrets about not finishing college at all, actually.
No.
I kind of, I think the path I took to my parents probably would have been like, oh my God, what is he doing? It probably would have been stressful. As a matter of fact, I know it was for them. But I like the position I'm in, and I like to be able to show people that you don't have to have a college degree to be really successful. As a matter of fact, I didn't really grow up until I was about 29. I'm 39 now, so there's been about 10 years that I've been really committed to my career and focused hard on that. Prior to that, I spent a lot of time traveling the world and no regrets.
That's
Did you get that tattoo?
Yeah, no regrets.
Well, in successful, people need to realize what is successful and what makes it successful. I mean, like, if you're happy with what you're doing in your job, you may not be making the $1 million you want to make, but if you literally wake up and you're happy and you're doing what
You
you're
dang
doing,
right.
in my opinion, and I don't know, I think being successful, that needs to be a term. How do you even?
It's an
Well,
individual-
more people
It's an
need to
individual thing.
understand that
Nice.
happiness in life is a huge success. If you're
Mhm.
happy, you might not be making all the money, but if you're happy, that's successful.
Mhm.
And in this day and age, people are looked at and scrutinized too often for maybe not having more money when that person is perfectly content and happy with where they're at. And we need to get rid of that stigma that someone is not successful if they don't have a bunch of money.
Ugh. And more money, more problems. I mean, good luck.
For
You have to
sure.
pay people to manage your money and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It just
That's right.
whoa. And I know that sounds like a terrible
First
thing
world
to
problem
say
to have.
Yeah.
for people who do really need it, but just to be able to function and get your car fixed and good food and just for your family to
Yeah.
be calm and happy and
Yeah.
functional.
Heck yeah.
That's success
Yep.
to
That's
me.
right.
And peace. Yeah.
I could not agree more with that, especially coming from someone who didn't get married until I was 37. Then I really got to see what success was about with a good marriage, and now I have a baby, and that's something I didn't think I would ever have again.
I remember when y'all found out she was pregnant and both of you were just kind of shell shocked.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, it was.
What happened? And for both of you, I'm like, this is good.
I
Guys.
remember too.
Yes. And I was like, Mark, it's gonna be okay. This
Oh.
is so good.
It's funny that because we had planned our lives not having any more kids, and my wife is 8 years younger than I am, so that was a big deal for her. And whenever she turned up pregnant, you're right, it was. I look back on it and I'm like, what a selfish, immature moron you were being.
I thought it was responsible because I mean you were
Well, for him
really
to say
being
that you
honest
didn't
with
want that, right?
yourself.
No,
No, you didn't say
exactly.
you didn't want it. You were just like,
Well, I didn't say I didn't want him after I had
This
him,
is-
but before we were like, we don't want him.
this
with kids.
wasn't
Yeah.
the plan for
Yeah.
on both of you. I saw her a couple of days later and saying that she was like, this wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's what's happening and
Uh-huh.
it's good. It's going to be fine. And
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know what to do with a little baby. I don't, so I thought it was positive. Like you were worried about that much responsibility.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, this is going to be awesome.
I remember, I'll never forget this. I told Caleb, and I was like, oh my gosh, Caleb, I just don't know what I'm going to do. He's like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I love Caleb.
What do you mean you don't know what you're going to do?
You have no other option now. You're going to figure it out.
You're going to raise your child and be very happy.
Oh, and as soon as he was born, you were like,
Oh.
you were right. Oh my gosh.
He
like this
softened me up,
peace
y'all.
and love. Oh my gosh.
He softened me up big time.
Yeah.
He did. So much for the better. Back to your dad, and you followed in his footsteps, and you did have to build the business. But doing your social media, what I love most is when we post about your dad and people who are still they're alive and they were friends with him.
Yep.
Because he wasn't that old.
Yep.
He should still,
Yep.
he should still be around. And I just love reading their memories and,
Yep.
oh, we loved your dad. He was so great. And
There's nothing better than those customers.
me,
Oh,
and
So I learned so much from my dad, the way that he ran business. I learned the good and the bad. But one of the things my dad was incredibly good at was maintaining his relationships with his friends and his customers. And it was all done in person. It wasn't done over the phone or via emails or text. It was all done in person. He would make rounds like weekly to, just different people and sit down and drink coffee with them and just conversate. That's how his mornings always started later in his career. And I admired that so much about him because business is so much about relationships, whether it's your customers or your employees or other businesses you work with. Business is just all about relationships. So I learned the importance of that from my dad. I learned a lot of good things. To me, that was my college education for business, was what I learned from my dad.
And what is your first memory? Like what, do you remember that first, oh, my dad works on ACs or
Yep.
What?
So I was very attached to my dad. I was definitely a daddy's boy, and I always went to work with him as a young kid. And there was a few times that the messenger snapped pictures. Dad was doing right out here on 380. They make the Peterbilt parts. Imperial.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
was doing Imperial, and they snapped a picture of us, put us in the paper, and then he was doing the Munn's Hardware over in Boyd, and they did the same thing. But the memory that comes to mind whenever you say that is my dad walking in the door from work, wearing his baby blue polo work shirt, and just seeing his face light up whenever he saw us boys, and that's just something that's what I think of when I think
Yeah.
of my dad and work. Is that right there?
Mm-hmm.
And that he worked like really hard, long hours. And I remember saying as a kid, like, why didn't Dad think of some easier do to make money? Because it's hard work.
Oh, it is. Oh my gosh, I worry about your guys often and those hot addicts, and
Yeah.
it's
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
So what kind of marketing were you doing when you first took over the business? What did
Great
y'all
question.
do?
So my strategy was when I started building the company, I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and then shortly after, I got asked to be on the board. And so I came on, and my strategy at that time was just to market my company as many places as I could, whether it was social media, the paper, golf tournaments. I just wanted my name and logo to be seen over and over, like to the point where people were sick of it. I spent all my extra money on marketing that way, and I really burned in people's mind my logo and my name and AC and heating. Whether they used me or not, people see my logo,
I agree,
they
man.
know.
And it's still everywhere. I
Yep.
mean, I can't keep up with it at football games
Yep.
and the broadcast and the billboards and the
Yep.
golf tournaments
People
and the
don't
trash
realize-
cans and
Yep.
like every time I turn around, I'm like, oh wow, that was
Mark,
good
that's a
call.
lot of work
Good
and
job,
money
Mark.
to,
It
to get
is.
to that point. That was like a sacrifice you made financially
Yes.
to get to that point.
Yes, absolutely.
People don't realize that.
That's right, Case, and most people don't. And it is, but nearly every single time I'm marketing in some way, it's going for a better cause than just, there's a few things. Billboard isn't really helping anyone besides the guy who owns it, but golf tournaments or these different events, charity events, that money's going to a good cause to help
Absolutely.
in a really good way.
So when you had Marie doing your social media, was her technique and her tactic completely opposite of what you were doing before?
Well, Marie knew what she was doing and I didn't.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean, I was just kind of throwing darts and
That's not
hoping
true.
they
It
stuck.
was good. It was already established. It was
It
you
was
know.
established, but you really fine tuned it and started targeting with the right content, stuff that was just over my head.
Mhm.
But I think it has been 4 years now, and we've had the numbers have been.
Oh my gosh.
What do y'all track mostly to see if it's working? I mean, I know we look at doing things.
I do the insights and the engagement, and I just sometimes I'll tell Mark I just feel bad because it's just so
powerful.
so powerful and in the lead, and we just have it going and
So
winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing and growing. Like I sent him a snapshot for May. And I showed it to Trish yesterday, but it grew like over 1,000% still.
Yeah.
Like it's, and I was getting worried it was getting stagnant,
Right.
because I was like, well, people are sick of Facebook. I'm sick of Facebook, stupid Facebook. And then I'll look at that reports. I'm like, it is working.
You've been so good about the ebb and flow with it. I learned a long time ago, like if I don't get 3 posts in a week, Marie's probably got a reason.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, no, it's true because there is a such thing as being too redundant, and you don't just want to throw crappy content out there either. So sometimes there could be a couple weeks goes by and there's only 2 posts, and I think there's a good ebb and flow to it. Like after the political climate this year, everybody was so fried. We didn't post much for.
Well, it didn't work.
Oh man, yeah. Well,
Facebook didn't let it work.
Yeah, like so many people just got off.
Or
But
if they-
we met, and you're like, no, we're going to keep our Facebook going, but I want to do Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So we were making sure that we were doing
Well,
both.
I remember you and I talking about that. Is if it wasn't political at that moment, they were just swiping past it. They were just scrolling to get
Oh.
some type of drama. Where's the drama?
Mhm.
Feed
And they
me.
stopped.
Mhm.
So the picture of your dog in the office wasn't what they wanted
Yeah.
to see at that moment.
Mhm.
But if the environment of it's summer and your dog's splashing in a kiddie pool and she's laid out, here's a post, whatever, like that might get it because it's
Yeah.
hot, but it's not, she has to play the environment that the market is in.
Yeah, and you've also been so understanding, both of you, about the algorithms.
I get it.
Like I'll just
Marie, there's nothing.
call or text and say, F these algorithms. Like this is
It's
good
ever-changing,
content.
yeah.
This is good content. And they are not letting people see, they're really, we watched Social Dilemma and talked about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They're in control of what people see.
Well, we never got
You
to
know.
boost my video that you guys did.
No,
They wouldn't
it
let
kept
us
rejecting it.
for
Really?
no reason.
I didn't know that.
And I don't know why. I'll
But
Still
try
organically,
again.
it
How much
got
did it have
I think
organically?
2,000 views
Oh,
organically.
yeah. So I'm gonna try
Should've did
again.
more when you boost it.
And then they kept banning me. Like a month ago, once a week, my ad account would get shut down, and I would write, and they would say, "You broke such and such policy," and I said, "No, I did not.
Yeah.
There's no policy." "Oh, we're sorry." And 4 days later, they turn it back on.
This topic right here is all as business owners, and speaking of social media marketing, it's really there's a lot of people that their whole livelihood depends on that YouTube or that Facebook or that Twitter
Yes.
account. I've seen and know several who've been shut down, and their whole way of life is gone. And that is becoming, to me, is going to become, it is a real big problem. It's going to become a much worse problem in the future with just the control.
Yeah. And that's why we just kind of like got to go with it. And you started this type of marketing way before we did. Podcast marketing works. Wise Choice Custom Meat texted me, and they had 5 new customers today that heard the podcast last
And they
night.
mentioned it?
They mentioned it.
I believe why
so
people
like, hey, newsflash, people, we're marketing to you right now.
Yeah, of course.
We're marketing to you about
Right.
Ary. We're marketing to you about branded real estate.
I think
But people like this because they
Yes.
like to see it and
The realness
hear it.
of people.
Yes.
Absolutely. The authenticity that we bring here
Mm-hmm.
during these conversations brings a whole new element to that. But also, there's going to be the control because these are the big companies. Facebook owns Instagram, and then there's YouTube owned by Google. So there's these big, huge players right now that these people have built their lives on, right?
Mhm.
But what do consumers do once there's too much control? They find another platform.
Right.
So us as a marketing team, up as a social media, or just kind of just marketing, advertising, getting our clients' content in front of the consumers. That's our job. So that's what we're always going to be fighting. Where are they going next?
Yep.
I mean,
Are they
so
going to
Cooper's
podcasts? Are they
got
going
me
there?
convinced that everything I should be posting should be on LinkedIn right now.
Yep.
I've heard that.
LinkedIn
I've heard
and
that too.
TikTok.
The organic,
We've heard about TikTok and the terrible things about it and blah blah blah. But businesses now are shifting money from Instagram to TikTok.
Yeah.
And now we have 3 clients on TikTok. And then I was shocked. I met with Trish yesterday, and Caleb is looking into TikTok.
Caleb's got a TikTok. He makes videos.
Yeah.
We're advertising.
So we just need to turn that into Ary.
We're advertising on all those platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Google. Through a program through Train, our ads are constantly coming up. So if you're scrolling through YouTube videos, you'll probably see our ad or TikTok, whatever. And I believe that marketing has been a big hit too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, my Google My Business on my Caraway team has been blowing up. You just keep
Wow.
if it'll like use it, and it is working. So
Mhm.
Google My Business.
You can live and die by reviews. And if there's anybody out there listening who's has a business, starting a business, is curious, your Google reviews are huge. Get with these people who know what they're doing. Get your Google listing right. It pays dividends.
It
I mean,
does.
There's plenty of avenues to it. It's so many self-help videos, and Google will give you the platform to follow step by step. I mean, I may be a little bit more advanced to figure things out, but I'm not that smart to figure out how to make a Google My Business page. It is very, very easy. And
is.
It's step by step. Just do it, hit next, do it, hit next, and do what it tells you to do. It's as much of an operation of your business than ever before
That's
to have
right.
a good marketing platform.
Your Google landing page to me right now is more important than your website.
I agree.
Yeah.
That landing page is what gets people onto your company, and from there they might go to your website or your Facebook.
To validate you.
That's
Mhm.
right.
They're just
That's
trying to
right.
validate. And then they need to be able to go to your website and click your Facebook.
Mhm.
If I'm on somebody's website, I'm probably going real quick to the bottom to trying to find the Facebook
That's right.
or the Instagram
Instagram.
or
Mhm.
whatever, just because. And then when I'm there, I don't want to see pictures of Train air conditioners every time. I don't want to see. I want to see. Oh, Mark has a cool dog. He I don't even know, still ride dirt bikes.
Yeah.
You're actively involved. Look at him. He's swinging a golf club. He's has a nice car. Do you still have the Corvette?
Sold it.
Sold a Corvette. I'm just saying like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
He
relatable.
traded it in
People
for a
I would
wife
rather
and a
see
baby,
that on-
which was a great choice.
Yeah.
traded in for
the
the
most
The wife and the
mature
baby.
decision of my entire
Man,
life.
you did grow up
Good
overnight.
choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was hard. It was really hard. I'm not gonna lie. But
What did you think about when you heard that we all came together as a team? 'Cause
oh,
you know it
well,
was-
no, you can be honest with me.
yeah,
You
so
can
I was
tell
really
him.
concerned at first because Marie had spent many years building an awesome business that
Mhm.
she had created, and I've been really good
No,
friends with Marie for many years.
But I came to you first
Yeah.
before you even heard about it
Yep,
because
she
I
did.
wanted your advice because you have had many people try to partner with you,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
I didn't tell either of you, but,
No,
he
I'm
was
open to
one
this.
of my advisors.
Yep.
We met alone and I'm like, here it is.
Yep.
Like, what do you think?
Yep.
Because I think these two are a good investment for me.
Yep.
Like, so,
I was
and we
worried.
talked for
I
like
didn't
2
know
hours.
This is new info, so I'm excited now.
We talked probably for like 2 hours
Yep.
about it.
I was
I'm glad you
worried
did.
because Marie and I have been good friends for years through some other things that we've done together and just
Mhm.
formed a good friendship. And I saw how hard she worked on putting her business together. And I've been involved with a couple partnerships and they haven't worked. And I have some friends who have, and they haven't worked. So I was very worried for her and what she was wanting to get out of the partnership. My biggest concern was what you're going to get is unintentionally, you're not going to get the things that you need to improve your company.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are you won't, is how I felt.
Yeah, yeah. But then I came to you again and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here's here's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think I am going to move forward,
Yeah.
but I want you to see this, see the risk, you know, like,
and then I got it.
yeah. And I was like, if this doesn't work, I take my old clients back,
Yep.
you know? And so to me, that was essential because to me, your account, Decatur Town Square, your account,
Yeah.
like they're like people to me,
Sure.
you know? And so after we talked about it again, I was like, well, and you're like, yeah. Oh, you know what? Try it. Let's see.
Yeah. There's a lot of sentimental value to the company you built.
Mm-hmm.
So when you possibly put some other minds in there that can have influence on it, it can be the best thing in the world, or it can be terrible.
Honestly, it was just a missing piece that Cooper and I didn't have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, our trifecta was not complete without her side of it. You know,
Yeah.
and that was very obviously, especially very obvious, especially when we were in our board meeting and putting it together on numbers. It was like, oh yeah, she's an asset. She's a huge asset.
Well, from this point, obviously, it's worked really well for you guys. Having done
Better.
business with Marie previously, and then you guys as a team, it's seamless right now.
It really
the
is.
video that we did,
It's my favorite, man.
we
It's
did
so
one take
good.
on everything.
Yeah, we really did. We just kind of let it go. and
The
it was-
only thing we did 2 takes on is I said, hey, let me get my outgoing shot again. Other than that, it was
Yeah.
one take.
That's my
And
favorite.
I was worried. I was like, I don't know how he's going to put this together. I don't think I was very good.
Mhm. Because how have I treated you when you do videos before?
They've never got posted.
No, because they were terrible.
Oh, man.
Because he wouldn't relax. Like this is podcast Mark. This
Yeah.
is the Mark I know.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
You know, he's relaxed. And then we would just put a cell phone on it and he'd be like,
Yeah.
this is a filter.
Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody knows that. And that's such a good point. I can do podcasts all day long and I'm fine. But anytime I tried to shoot, it was just, I was stiff as a board.
Even if it was just one person or a
Yeah.
selfie.
Yeah.
You
Even if
know?
it was just me doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I just got out of the way. You know, like Cooper was there and, you know, you were kind of shocked. I was like, y'all got this.
Well, so for me, if someone's filming me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going to be as good as the person filming me.
Yeah.
That's true. I've seen it.
Huge.
That's a
The,
big
the
thing
way that
Cooper
it
has.
works, I think the way that everybody's mind works is that person filming, you have to not be thinking, did they think I'm an idiot?
Yeah.
And when the person's good at their job, that thought never enters your mind,
Mhm.
and you can just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you that after, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And you text me right away.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
as soon as it was over, he's like, Cooper
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
super
yeah, I'm
comfortable.
sure he
Yeah.
did. I know,
Yeah.
I know he does every time
Cooper and I were making videos.
because everyone loves
Years-
Cooper, right?
Everybody
Jason?
loves Cooper.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
We got to get the little Everyone Loves Raymond logo and everyone's
Everybody loves
Cooper.
Cooper.
Ooh, everyone loves
Oh, you know Cooper?
Oh.
Oh no! Yes, yeah. I need to stop that.
Wait, no, really? Did somebody say that?
Wait. This, you can really say it.
Yes, I got 3 more yesterday.
No.
Well, you spent several years now with Kaysen making a name for yourself. What is it, 5 or so?
It's 3 or 4 years now, or
I don't even
4
know.
years, 3 or 4 years now.
4 years minimum.
Yeah, at least 4. I
Well,
guess.
back to that. I mean, it's when we would make videos, it was like we were laughing in them
Mm-hmm.
right.
because, and then it made it a whole lot easier for me to put myself out there.
Yeah.
And then, as you've learned, you got to just get in your mind and
Yeah.
say, I don't care what somebody's going to think.
Yes.
Like you can't think of your best friends in town saying, what is this guy going to think when I
Yes,
post
that's
this?
right.
What is my wife going to think? What is my brother's going to think?
Nope.
You cannot do that.
That's right.
As soon as you get that out of that mindset
Yeah.
and just post it or just do it
Yeah.
and then post it.
Or
Your
just turn on
content-
that camera and talk and then turn it off and you'll surprise yourself what you're going to say.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know I
I've
was
done
thinking
that.
that.
Yeah.
I've done that a lot, Marie.
You have.
Yeah.
Oh my
Stuff
gosh.
comes out that I'm like, I would have never. I mean, it just you getting that like these podcasts do this too.
Yes, I
It's
love
like-
that about these.
You getting this. You don't even realize what you're doing. You're just having a conversation, but the stuff that comes out, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was
Yeah.
a lot. You know, whether it be good or bad, I don't know how I sound.
Right.
But it
That's
does
my
come out.
favorite part about podcasting is you just kind of go where the conversation takes you.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is we're not live. If we need to edit something out, we'll just edit something
Yeah,
out.
but
Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
We haven't even
won't.
done that yet.
And
Maybe
our
one time, I guess.
conversation about before was maybe 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's do this, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah, yeah. There was no, yeah. That's the beauty of it.
Because it just, it flows. Sorry, Kason, it flows.
Flow state.
Flow. It just flows.
If there was a state Marie just needs her own state called Flow.
I do.
I've always
I'm
envisioned this.
so obsessed with it.
Is it Arkansas now? Is it Colorado? Is it
No, they don't have skiing there. I really, I need some snow and some mountains, and I love that high elevation.
And it's not actually a physical place; it's more in your mind. It's flow.
That's the
state.
flow that
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
North
flows.
Dakota.
Flow.
North Dakota, Marie. So I was telling these guys before you got here, a buddy of mine posted on Instagram, like, it was a house built in 1978. I think it was 1,600 square foot on a little lot in some little small town in North Dakota. 20 grand.
20
Needed
grand.
zero work, perfectly able to move into.
Maybe they need a branded office.
And so I started
Real
researching.
close
They
to
need some
gym.
AC.
There's three little ski
very
resorts
much.
in North Dakota, and really cheap
Oh.
houses.
In like 20
Okay.
minutes from Canada.
Yeah, well, I don't know about 20 minutes, but close.
Because we were only
We're an
an
hour.
hour
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we went and visited Jim O'Shea in
And-
Flusham High.
Yeah,
And
trying to get myself
yeah.
oriented right now.
That was a really cool opportunity for you guys to be able to go do that.
dude.
It was super cool.
And
Yeah.
it was it's such a good bonding. You
Yeah.
know, we talked about it on that podcast, but I really was a little nervous. I was like, oh, I'm traveling with Cooper and Kaysen. Don't know. And then like the second we got stuck in Minneapolis, I was like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is
Well, we're
great.
gonna be
Yeah.
just fine.
This is
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Mm-mm.
I heard
No.
maybe Cooper said y'all might have another out-of-state opportunity.
Oh, I hope
That
so.
was yeah. So Jim was showing his brother and some other of his dog training friends up in North Dakota our video, and they're like, okay, well, Jim said you're probably going to be getting a phone call. And I'm like,
And we
okay.
haven't boosted it yet.
No, it's all
everything right
organic.
now. And I'm
It's at
pushing my head
11
shot. Yeah,
Is it probably it's close to 1,200?
1.2K.
Okay,
when I got
1.2
here.
right now.
And that's not boosting it. So
organic.
we want to make
Yeah.
sure we're going to add some just a little verbiage to it, and then
Yeah,
right?
I was and that was the thing. I called to make sure that I was like, hey, do you have any description for it? And he said just about the experience. This is the experience. Let's keep it simple right now. See how it does, and before we boost it, because once you boost it, you can't go back
Can't
and
go
edit.
We've
Yeah.
battled that,
Yeah.
haven't we,
Yeah.
Mark?
Oh, yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
edit.
There's nothing worse than
The
hitting
typo.
boost and then you have a typo and you're like, no.
Oh, and it's already going,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, what do I do? It's such a
Oh.
hard call to make.
Yeah.
We've been there many
Yeah.
times.
But I was also paying attention to a lot of these other videos where guys are killing it. Guys and gals are killing it on their videos, and they don't have any description. It's just they get you
Really?
sucked in with just their
Yeah.
content, and then you're like, then you finally like catch it like 15 seconds later, like, oh, this is a sponsored
Yeah,
ad.
Another
I wonder-
algorithm.
Yeah.
yeah, since your description is so long
Yeah.
with all the people,
Yeah.
like maybe I
Oh.
should do that description with a
You
photo.
put that in the comments.
Yeah, or
Or-
the
You
comment.
Oh,
could
yeah,
say
I'd say
something
do it in
like,
the
come
comment.
take a tour
Yeah.
or something simple like that. Is that what you're saying? That short, Cooper?
Yeah, something that short, yeah, in description, and sometimes none,
Yeah,
like
'cause
no
I'm gonna
description,
try
or just
that
leave
again.
comments,
So
Oh.
for the people listening that don't know what they're talking about, this is something Marie taught me I didn't know. Whenever you post, say, a picture for advertising, it doesn't need to be a professionally done picture.
And you struggled with that.
Bad. I was like, I just spent this money for professional
This
pictures,
is
and I
Janie's
can't use.
photo.
I can't
It's a
use
huge
them.
file.
Yeah. The
I thought
file
that's
was too big.
crazy.
You and your screenshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear, it just goes.
But for whatever reason, whenever you post a non-professionally taken picture,
hmm
the algorithms pick it up more and it's seen more by more people.
Isn't that frustrating?
It's really
There
weird.
was nothing worse than Cooper and I spending all day shooting a video of me doing something
felt
out on
bad.
property, and I'd post it and get like 6 views. And I just
Yeah.
freaking.
And then I
not-
would do
Yeah.
one screenshot.
Yeah,
It would, like,
screenshot. That's what I was like.
hit.
You're doing screenshots.
I hated that.
And we're
that was like
shooting 4K.
my nightmare is going. I love
I
making the
felt bad.
videos. They were
I
fun.
Like it. It really
I still
doesn't-
glad to have them because it documents, which is
Mhm.
really big to me, is document everything that you've done and where you
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
But I just think that it was probably the most stressful thing is spending that time and money and effort and nothing came of it.
Yeah, but it's an even mix because they'll go back and watch those videos,
Yes,
and
they
it's
will.
still there.
They'll
and-
find it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the point too, is anyone who's, wanting to do it and they're not spending a whole lot of ad dollars on Facebook and Instagram and social media right now, that it really is about documenting versus creating,
Right.
like just tell your story.
How is that
Right.
marketing? So how can anybody that like from the 90s to the 2000s, they hear what do you mean document? That's marketing. Documenting
Right.
is marketing.
Mhm.
It really is. And I swear you could have a Facebook Live on in your shop at all times,
Uh-huh.
and people would tune in
Huh.
daily to check
Yeah.
in on you.
Wow.
Or like a light, like they have those on
Yeah.
the eagle
Yeah.
nest, or like
Yes.
or like
Yep, you're right.
The giraffe.
people just want to how you check in.
April the
Yeah.
giraffe who recently
weird,
died.
man.
Rip.
I think
Oh, no.
people love content that shows that these people are just normal people, just like the person watching it, just very relatable. Whenever you can come across that, you're just another person, people love to see that. Nothing that intimidates them or anything like that. You just want to show that you're just an average
Remember when
normal
that
person.
Cooper and I told you that we're day trading people's attention?
I'll never forget that saying.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
you're just buying, you're trying whatever it takes to have attention on your platform, and that's what we're trying to do at Brandon Film Media is we just want attention on you, man. Like Mark, awareness. Like Mark's in
Brand
town.
awareness.
Mark's doing great. Mark is in the air conditioning company, and he does new construction and servicing now more than ever.
Yep.
Like,
Oh.
I mean, like.
Yeah.
What else do y'all need to know about Mark Ary? He's sitting right here asking a question. I mean, like, what do you need to know about the guy? Do you
He's
still
a great guy.
Do you like playing
He's
golf?
a great
Do you have
husband.
time?
He's a great dad.
Love
He's-
playing golf.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
you, do you still have a dirt bike?
I do. It doesn't get ridden very often, but I do.
Do you just basically spend time with your family now, don't you?
Yes, I like to bass fish.
Really?
You
Yes,
do?
I
No
love-
way.
Yeah.
Since-
Absolutely.
We've talked about
Forever.
going fishing.
I love to
a
You
fish.
fished
lot.
at the Caraway place, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
love
that's
how.
probably like
do we see
second
any
all time.
photos of that? No, which is great.
The reason is because I hadn't gotten to do it in a long time.
Well,
But it's
and
also
you're
good
not
because you're in the
looking at your
moment,
phone.
you're fishing, you're having a good
yeah,
time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
phone's
not
put
looking
away.
on your
Good-
phone.
Good point.
I mean,
That's
I
right.
don't even know how many times I've texted you. I'm like, get off your phone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Why would you ever text him
cut-
that, Marie?
I'm gonna cut your fingers off, Mark. Oh my god! If I get,
Oh, no.
stop it.
Take my fingers together.
I did. I was like, bring
It's
out
like-
the duct tape. But he's like, I'd still have Siri. I could get my nose.
I don't use Siri. I mean, you should know that about me. I've got all that stuff off on my phone.
know,
Oh my
I know.
god.
For some reason, like I think with that stuff off, they're getting just a little bit less of,
Oh
whatever.
no, they have
Yeah,
our
right.
retinas. They
Yeah, I
have it
know.
all.
They got
Like,
it, Mark.
our privacy is gone, unfortunately, unless we live out in a teepee.
So-
There was a
What-
huge data breach earlier this week, like 68 million people's information, I think it was. A
Oh,
lot.
man.
Awesome.
That's going to be something in the
He said-
future that I think everybody should know this. If you don't, I think everybody does. Your data and stuff is very valuable, and people are always trying to steal that. Like get LifeLog.
Well,
or
absolutely. I
something.
mean,
I have it.
Yeah, we used to get calls on our landlines, people trying to sell stuff. Now we get text messages on our
Right.
cell phones, people trying to, and they
those
get that
damn
from our
car
stuff.
warranties.
I know
are
somebody
not
that
gonna
lost-
go away.
Hey, you know what? I said the other day, they wouldn't keep spending the money to have the car warranty program going if there weren't enough people actually doing it.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
This is
True.
true.
Think about that. There are humans out there that press one.
Stop it! If you're listening, stop.
Do it.
I have a close
Make it stop.
person. I won't even reference it, but she had $62,000 taken out of her account like a few days before her closing.
Dang.
She was about to buy a house, and this was all done in like Alabama. There's a big chain of everything from Hong Kong to Atlanta, from a Verizon store to a Chase Bank around the corner. It was all
Dang.
connected, and the guy in Hong Kong thought he thought my girl stole his money. Like it was like it was a big
Oh, wow.
investigation.
Wow.
Wow.
And she filed a claim and got it back. Luckily got her $60,000 back, but 60,000 out of their account. So
Fraud is an all-time high. There's some stories going around about people losing their homes. They're stealing the title to the homes, people's homes somehow. I just think the cybersecurity needs to be individually for people in your business needs to be stepped up immensely. We've seen all the hacks in the past couple months, the pipeline, now the meat packers and stuff like that's
Yeah,
going
they
to
said
ramp.
like that's gonna ramp up.
Yep,
So
I think it is.
that's the new terrorism, basically.
mhm.
Yep, exactly.
they figured out it works really well, so they're doing it.
Yep.
And then it's all about control. So
I say all the time,
Good times.
we kind of this past, I don't know, 16 months because of COVID, we've all kind of been like, oh God, man, what a time to be alive. Yeah. And it has been a crazy time to be alive. But on the other hand, what an amazing time to be alive.
Oh, I know it. I know.
And
'Cause
I'm
you
more
can
of an
see-
optimistic than a pessimistic.
you can
so I
see
see
that transition.
What
Right.
it was he says like just waking up in this world right now in this time is like the biggest win. Like,
Yeah.
to have opportunities in front of you with
Mhm.
technology and internet and marketing on whatever, like you want to sell popsicle sticks on Facebook now. You can find a way to make money off of
That's
it.
right.
Like there is a way now.
Shopify.
The opportunity is endless.
Mhm.
It really is.
We were talking about that at the beginning of this podcast. I mean, we've seen countless people move here and start up a new business and just take off doing really well. If you really work at something in America at this point, I believe the opportunity is greater than it ever has been, hands down.
Yeah.
And to oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say that the gatekeepers have been removed.
Yes.
It's like if you can go
Explain
directly
that.
to your consumers.
Yes.
So the
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you want to own your own business or whatever, you know, you have to go through these certain people, maybe the banks, maybe so and so, whatever. But nowadays, if you have something to sell, you can take it straight to consumers. You don't have to go through any manufacturing if you don't, if that's not your deal.
That's right.
Start
So,
a
like,
Facebook page and get going.
That's
and
right.
always be on the lookout for what a community needs. Like,
Sure.
and so, you don't have to follow someone. Like, I haven't seen a service that picks up dog poop in the yards, but do you know how well that would do? I mean, I would pay for it. I know you don't have dogs, but I mean, just just always be on the lookout for what is this community missing.
See, but
And
that's
just do it.
right then and there. Like if you took 6 hours out of your day,
Mhm.
you could create that dog poop pickup company through Google My Business, through Facebook, through online contracts. You can have a business in 6 hours
Yeah.
and
That's
launch it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and we'll help you
So
market
I
it
don't think there's an
Right.
excuse.
We'll
for
use Mark's
people right
dog.
now.
That's right.
for marketing.
It's really weird.
Celebrity.
You know, in this day and age, people are like, they'll just drop, $50,000 on a new vehicle, but they won't drop $5,000 to start a company and start marketing it.
Mhm.
But are they really putting $50,000 down? They're financing those.
That's the kicker out there. It's finance. That's
I
right.
mean, that's the thing is like everything's easy to finance now.
Oh, if you can find a car to buy.
no joke.
We both bought vehicles at the same time, and we were right at the start of COVID, or
Yes.
right before the inventory wasn't bad.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I bought my Jeep a
it-
year ago too.
December.
And it was hard.
Can you imagine buying now? I mean,
Well, I walked in to buy a work vehicle the other day at James Wood, and I was very lucky that they even had one to sell me. Shout out to Karen Garrett for finding me one.
Love
But
Karen.
Bo came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, does your truck have less than 10,000 miles?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "You can make 10 grand on it right now." I was like, "What?"
What?
Isn't that crazy? We're
Wow.
making money on our vehicles.
So the first time ever,
What?
usually you drive that vehicle off the lot, you're negative 10 grand in the hole.
Yeah.
That's it.
right away.
Now you're positive 10 grand.
Yeah, and people just
but then-
offer you
but-
money.
but
for
there's
your
no
car.
rebates and anything on the new one, so they're just
Or even a new one to
Oh,
get.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
even
what are
a
you
new
going
one
to
you
do when you
get.
do sell it back to them?
Yeah, just like homes right now.
yeah.
I mean, we could all sell our homes for crazy.
I heard
amounts.
Right.
I heard a thing
Yeah.
about that, and this is just today. So it's like right now, our equity and everything is like casino chips. Like, okay, so you're winning. You're hearing all this stuff. You're getting these chips. You like have all these chips, but it's worthless unless you cash them in and sell that house.
Mm.
So right now, there's never been a bigger time to cash in, because there's no inventory, right? So
Sure.
what this
Sure.
this is, you have all these casino chips, but if the market shifts,
Sure.
you're losing casino
Sure.
chips.
That's right.
So,
That's a
like,
great analogy.
If you cash in, sell your house, you get all that equity out. I mean, people are making money every day
That's
by
right.
living in a house.
It's crazy.
The downside to that is, okay, you cash in those chips.
Go. New construction.
You're going to have to spend all those
Good luck with
chips
the
to get back
wood
into,
and
yeah.
the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
New construction is the only thing
Oh,
I can
man.
think. But
I
even
feel
with
sorry for builders right now trying to
Oh,
put together a bid for a new home because
we're remodeling and we're so
Yeah,
far
yeah,
behind
you're
and
there.
so over budget. And it is a simple home. I can't imagine like a big.
bids are good for lumber for 24 hours.
oh my
That's how volatile
goodness,
it is.
Yeah.
It's like playing crypto game, but it's lumber.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So
Usually
insane.
in my industry, we get one price increase at the beginning of the year. It's usually anywhere from 0.5% to maybe 2 at most on equipment. This year we've had 3 price increases, and we're just over 10% on equipment, like 30% on insulation, 28% on sheet metal,
Gosh.
and it's getting pretty bad. The inflation is kind of
Yeah, but everyone needs AC here.
everyone needs AC here, and people are still moving here, and that's great. But I don't think people should have the notion that prices are ever going to come back down. They
So
won't.
we're going deep in this,
Unfortunately.
but like I keep saying this, but I don't know if it's true. I have no data to back it up. This is just what I'm thinking. Why would a producer ever come off that rate when he feels okay.
Sure.
Why would he ever come off that price if somebody's paying it?
Right.
But then I start thinking about basic economics from college. Is like, okay, so there's going to be competition, and then the supply will catch up eventually. Competition should drive down that price, but right now they don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
So to your point, you nailed it, and that's how it traditionally always works. But let's take lumber for instance. There really is no competition. It's everything's whittled down to a few massive companies, corporations that have monopolies on these industries. And make no mistake about it, it was done that way by design.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the beef right now. There's only a few large beef producers that service America, and if you take out one of the players, as we've seen, it handicaps you. So those people are getting to set the tone for the pricing, and generally don't have to worry about competition. But to further your point, so if I'm Ford or GMC and I've got hundreds of thousands of vehicles built, ready to go, but I can't sell them because I don't have that computer chip that I'm waiting on from China, and I own a tech company, I'm going and brokering a deal with Ford and GMC, and I want to start producing that. And eventually, I believe things like that will take a hold.
Yeah,
So,
and like just like TVs, it used to be crazy expensive to buy a TV,
Yes.
and as the competition built, then it was more affordable to buy them, and now you can get a huge TV for like $200.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know,
I mean, you could back then $7,000 was the nicest. Now the nicest one on the market is $700
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
$1,100. It's just a crazy that you can get that.
They say that the days of the cheap Chinese labor are gone.
I hope so.
Their middle class has risen to almost equivalent to America's middle class.
Okay.
So
Good.
China's
Or is it
actually
good?
farming out labor to
know.
India.
I don't even
I don't know, Marie.
know. Who knows
I don't
what's
know the
going
answer to
on?
that.
It's so crazy, so very crazy.
This is a good topic. I mean, this is all because it actually relates back to our hometown here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sure,
and our
sure does.
businesses and
It's-
people
yeah.
we know and love, and
Because we just brought up everything that from lumber to car dealerships in town to the consumers buying in our town. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just who knows. I know the real estate's good. Prices are very high, and I don't feel anything showing me that it's about to plummet or go anywhere. I don't care if the interest rates go to 8%. I could still sell every piece of property and everything I have at.
Well,
you know.
people are moving out of the cities at a rapid pace to small towns like Decatur, Texas, for a reason. They're getting away from the city life, the hustle and bustle, whatever you want, high taxes, whatever you want to call it. So this particular area, I don't see slowing down. North Texas, period, for a while.
Well, the cool thing I think about all four of us, even if an industry does crash, we're innovators.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to be able, just to build one business, you can build others.
That's right.
So we're constantly looking out like, okay, if this doesn't work, we could do this. If this doesn't work, we
I
could
think
do
that was one
this.
thing that even my brother told me 2 nights ago or 2 weekends ago. He's like, man, I'm proud of you, Kason, for doing not just one thing. Like for our
Mhm.
parents and the way we were raised is you had one. My dad
That's
went
right.
to
9 to
one
5.
job for his entire career.
Mhm.
Straight out of, he was the first one to be hired at the phone company out of high school. 3 out of 3 jobs are opening for high schoolers out of Decatur High School, and my dad was one of the 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your dad was the second
It
one.
was out
Wow.
of paradise.
Dyke
Yeah.
Reed.
Wow.
And another gentleman, but I can't remember. But yeah, so there was
Yeah.
3. My dad was one. His dad was one to go work for the phone company right out of high school. My dad
Mhm.
stayed until he retired.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
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 Um,
It sure doesn't.
It's just, I'm just saying, like, in spreading yourself through it, whether it be investments or companies, and now is never a better time to do that. And basically, I think are we telling people to prepare for the
Well,
worst, or
of
because you
course.
can't treat this like it's
Well,
good
after
forever.
this year,
I think that
how can
anybody-
we not think like, what the heck
Right.
is
I
going
think
to
anybody would be a
happen?
fool
Yes.
that doesn't obviously prepare for hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast.
I told you I went and got my water filter. Like my
Yeah.
family, if unfortunate, I hope it doesn't. But if anything catastrophic happens, we're ready to go hike up in the mountains.
Look what happened in
and
Snowmageddon.
drop it.
Who would have ever thought that
Exactly.
the entire state of Texas, from one end to the other, from top to bottom, would be below freezing temperatures,
It's still
and we
weird
would
to
not
do.
have power?
Hey, and
So
I was
weird.
scrambling to find a generator. Luckily, JK's was building the house above me and had one for me to get stuff
Plug in your
going,
furnace.
plug in stuff, furnace. which I found out was an amazing thing in the older homes. Like my heater element plugs into the
It's
wall.
110. Yep.
And I had no clue.
Yep.
Curtis Green goes, Kason, are you dumb? Go get a generator, plug
Gas
in your,
furnace.
and all you're running is the fan
That's right.
and the thermostat on the wall.
That's right.
I had my whole heat because of Jake's generator for
Yeah.
That's
until I
awesome.
ran out of gas. Long
That's
story
awesome.
short, I can't imagine trying to buy a generator right now.
Oh.
My brother Jay said that his company he works for is RX Soil and the RX Power now, and they invested into in-home generators.
Yep.
And they're
Generacs, the ones that. Yep.
in-house.
Mhm.
In-house stuff now that were never even a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
So like builders can bid that out to a new construction home and say, hey, let's save this spot for your new generator.
Propane powered. That's right. My neighbor just got one
Really?
after Snowmageddon. He was like,
I'm going to get one.
I'm not getting in this position again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man.
Yeah.
And
but
but-
so that's a great point. To I think everybody should, whether it's the economy or whatever, always take caution. To
Yeah, and then it also comes back to relationships. Because
That's
if
right.
you are close to people who can help you along the way or help take care of you when things do crash, and same thing. If you're up, help people.
Sure.
If you can, help them out.
Sure.
That's exactly right.
What goes around always comes around.
Mm-hmm.
He,
For sure.
he's not going to say it, but I know we're back to like how expensive it was to market yourself and get yourself out there. As much as you donate to the chamber, to different organizations at golf tournaments,
Teams.
God, you don't understand. He's paying to have a banner on a fence. Like
Every
he's not really
concert.
just buying that banner. He's putting his money out there because he feels like giving his money to somebody that needs it or an event that he wants to be a part of Decatur. So, Mark, I respect that, and I know what that is, and that's not cheap, and people need to realize. No, I don't even know. They don't need to realize you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. But I notice it. So,
Well, I think it's very, very important to give back to your community. I think it speaks volumes on someone's character. That for me, business is not just about making money. It's like not even close. Making money is not the that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day, because I'm responsible for every single person that works for me, and ultimately that's how they feed their family. But there's much more to business than just the dollar. It's a very big, it's a huge blessing to be able to take care of, essentially, or help take care of people's families, but it's also a huge burden. And it's something I think that should be taken very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's
there's
stressful.
some people will never understand that, though. I mean, and just won't ever understand the sacrifice that your employer makes and the stress to keep them to have a job.
That's
I'm
right.
not saying it's any of my members, but I'm just talking everything from, what it takes to run Walmart so these people can have a job to work there.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifice made to get to that point.
Yeah.
So don't disrespect your employers, if I can never say that. It's like,
yeah,
no, but I mean, I've never
Yeah.
seen it, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to keep people in the business.
No,
and
and
thank gosh, y'all, after COVID, we didn't see this town shudder.
mhm.
We lost, I think, a couple businesses, but for the most part, I think most people pulled through it. I mean,
I think so.
thank God, because
Yeah, I'm blown away by. I'm like, say, how I haven't seen you. How are things? Well, I feel bad that some suffered during this pandemic, but it was great for
Yeah.
me. Like my business tripled
Yeah.
Mhm.
because we did blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's great. You don't have to feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
Well, it took
You know?
sacrifice and hard work to probably get through it.
Yeah, and
Just how much grit did you have in
innovative
you?
thinking.
a good friend of mine told me, I said, where did all this extra money come from that people are spending during COVID? He said, well, you have to think, prior to COVID, the average American family saved 4% of what they made in savings.
Hmm.
COVID happened, and there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Restaurants are closed.
No sports.
No sports. So people are saving all this money.
Hmm.
And
No
and,
movies. No
I mean, that's
restaurants.
$300 a
no-
weekend for some, or a night for some people.
Right.
Ooh.
To go like to a fancy dinner and a movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And,
It's
and when your
expensive.
kids get in these sports,
Oh,
good
yeah.
luck.
Oh my
If you're
gosh,
not
I see you
investing
traveling
now,
constantly.
y'all, like just to pay for them to play, and then you have to pay to get into the tournament, which is $65. You have to eat, you have to park, you have to, it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's, yeah. And so,
No, I appreciate my parents for lugging us three kids around to
Oh.
all of our sports and all the
man.
select baseball and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
not
man.
complaining because I only have one more year left, and I know I'll miss
And
it.
she's at Flow State.
Ooh,
We'll be
I
living
wonder
in
where
Flow
I'm
State.
gonna flow. I don't know.
Guys,
I'll
this
be
has
calling
been-
y'all from way
I have
across
one more
around
question
the
for.
world.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
go
have one
ahead.
more question for Mark. I mean, it's kind of a two-part. So you mentioned traveling
Yeah.
a lot. So what has been your favorite place to go to, and what's up? What's a big one that's up next for you?
Yeah, great question. I would have to say Fiji was the funnest place I've traveled.
Was it the farthest place you've traveled?
Fiji was well, I was in Australia for a good time, so
Okay.
yeah, I think Fiji's probably a little further than Australia from America. But the unique thing about Fiji was I took off over there on my own with a backpack, literally, and kind of made reservations at this janky little resort, whatever you want to call it. And I met these three guys from Brazil that were there surfing, Speedo wearing Brazilians. And two of them's name was Felipe. So you had Felipe Uno and Felipe Dos. And I can't remember the third guy's name, unfortunately. I think it was Gustavo, actually. But we just had the time of our life, man. When you're in another country on the other side of the world and you don't know a soul, and you have like maybe $500 or $600 and a cell phone that doesn't work very well, there's just something really humbling about that, but also at the same time empowering. You really find yourself in who you are in a situation like that. So I would say Fiji was the top of the list. As far as the next place I want to go, I really want to go see Alaska, and I would like to go to Bora Bora.
Oh, yeah.
I know those are two completely opposite ends of the spectrum, but Snowmageddon has got me like craving, like, I don't know,
A
some
snowy
snow and just-
adventure.
like
Yeah.
real snow.
Yeah.
People that really know how to live in it. You know, that's
Yeah.
like
That the frontier
No.
aspect is
Yeah.
nothing up there.
Yeah, I've
Did-
gone. I love it.
yeah, just so many little.
I
like that-
cry every time I come back.
But
From
you're a
a-
traveler yourself.
Yeah, and so I
Mhm.
was going to your point about that, about being in a foreign land, and whether you know a little bit of the language or not, being by yourself, and meeting people from all around the world. It is something, very humbling about that. But I've never felt so empowered and
Yeah.
excited and just opened up to the possibilities of the world, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a powerful thing
It
to
is.
experience, and you're stepping into. For me, I like to use this video game analogy where, back in the day when PlayStation it was like buffering, you're entering a new place of the
Yes,
map,
that's
and it's all
right.
like this. So you're entering into a new place of this map of this video game, right? And so whenever finally all comes clear, you have this new understanding, and in literally new neural pathways in your
Yeah,
brain have
that's
been
right.
created. So that there's something that happens there that expands in the brain, spiritually and physically,
Couldn't
and you
agree
just
more.
cannot.
Yeah, I agree with
It's tough to explain.
Especially coming from a small town.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You in Paradise, me here in Decatur. And I wasn't raised naively where, I couldn't see outside of little Texas here. Because, my dad was a foreigner, so I knew about family overseas and stuff, but still really didn't have a grasp on, how large the world was, and
Mhm.
people on the other side of the world are doing the same thing we've been doing, just living.
It's
Yeah.
living.
And this little opinion we have, or what we formed over here, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean a whole lot.
It's not real. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pushing Gage hard to travel, and
Best
like,
education I
just
ever had.
go. I mean, you're learning so much more. Those neural pathways are firing. When you're new languages, new things, new food, new lighting.
Yeah.
The toilet goes the other way.
Yeah.
Like, just all these things that we think are the same everywhere, they're not.
That's right.
Do you still want him to go to college though?
I would totally be fine with him taking a break. We watched this Gary V thing yesterday, and
I
it's
know
like
exactly which one you're talking about.
you could. This mom was like, "Do you think
Saw
my
that.
son should go to college?" And he said, "Are you paying for all 4 years?" And she
She goes,
said,
"Dang right."
"Yes, I am." And he said, "Son, go take a 4-year vacation and save your parents some money.
Yeah.
Go to
You'll learn,
Europe.
Yeah.
you'll learn a lot more traveling the world than
Yeah.
you will in a dorm room playing an Xbox. Get out.
Mhm.
Go
That's
learn."
literally what they do.
It
Gary
is.
V would know, and he's right.
Yeah,
That's
and I
absolutely
showed
right.
it to him. I was like, here it is.
What does
like
Eric think about that?
I think he's fine with him going over to study, because a part of his program he has to go at least for 6 months overseas, so he would probably prefer for him to wait for that. But I'm like, well, if you want to do it, go do it.
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
You know, it'll always be there for him to go back to and then study abroad
Yeah.
once he has
And
seen
he's-
some other places
Right.
beforehand.
Yeah, he's already a sophomore because everything they have in high school, like he graduated with 30 hours.
Oh yeah.
You know, so slow down. Oh, I mean, you're going to be done in a
Wow,
year and a
did he
half.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So just take, but yeah, we'll see.
That's a very solid piece of advice for any young viewers, man. Slow down and enjoy your youth.
Mhm.
Youth is only on your side for a little while.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, from your body to your mind to your, the expectations that are on you. Like
Yes.
at 18, as a senior in high school, you can do what you can. You don't have expectations,
Right.
like
Mm-mm.
you do when you become. Wait until you're 26,
Right.
Right.
or 23 or 24, 25. Then you're like, oh gosh, I got my first job out of college, and okay, wait, now I've got to, it's just a whole lot of pressure,
Yeah.
and that comes from 18. 19, 20, 21, 22. You have 4 years after you're 18 before you got to man up or woman up and grow up.
Generally, some people don't even have that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
That's
Oh,
true.
you're absolutely correct.
Some people don't
Some
have
people
that.
do not have that privilege and that luxury that I was blessed to have.
Yep.
And I got to mature at
Same here.
26 instead of,
Mhm. I'm still maturing at 44.
I mean,
I literally,
Not just physically.
I genuinely did not become a man and grow up until I was 29 years old and I lost my dad. My dad was my security blanket, and I'll never forget telling my brother, like my younger brother, you've been a man for like way longer than I have, and now I have to like completely grow up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like to. To me, when my mom died, it was like I was sitting in a chair with 3 legs, because I'm like, oh, okay, everything's fine, and I would relax and it just fall, because I just relied on
Can't.
her for
Yes.
so many good things, for when my
Yes.
day was bad, for my kids, for she was always there my whole life, and then I had to learn how to live without her, which was extremely
Wow.
difficult.
It is.
You
it
know.
is.
But it makes you grow up
It does.
fast. And I was like, I'm not ready.
I can't even imagine.
Still not ready.
Yeah.
But
Never,
it
no,
has-
you never will be. I mean, that's just
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
no,
this is how it
even
goes.
even when they're super old, it's hard. But anyway. But I'm so glad that you've been on here. I'm glad that
Appreciate the
people can
opportunity.
see the relaxed podcast,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
This is the
I do want
Mark
to give a
at
shout out
his-
to my wife and
Heck
my
yeah.
kids. I love y'all.
Yeah. And is he doing okay? Doing better?
Oh yeah. He's,
Okay.
he's a baby.
We didn't.
Brilliant.
We didn't even need to go to the doctor.
One of those days.
It's better.
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
good.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, that was his first. Time he's had a little cold. So
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
yeah.
So cute. And I love using him for pictures, the baby boss and
Yeah.
the legacy. I don't want to put too much pressure on him,
Yeah.
but if
Yeah.
he did go into the business, we're documenting
Yeah,
this. We
that's right.
have
Yeah.
these pictures of him with
Legacy.
you in the office and,
And-
all the employees.
To me, it's very important to document this journey, and the
Mhm.
best way you can do it is through your marketing.
Mhm.
And I didn't understand that correlation until a few years ago, basically until I came on with you. And
Mhm.
if anybody's wondering, go for it. Whether you do it yourself or hire these guys or someone else,
Yeah.
it's very important, and I think you should.
Yeah. And a lot of people have a hard time dedicating employees straight to that.
Yeah.
If you have a big business, you should.
Yes.
Because,
Yep.
I mean,
There should
they,
be a full-time employee that does your marketing.
Yep. If you can do it in house, do it in house, and
Send them to the trainings.
Yep.
I mean, but they
yeah,
either
don't
got-
fire me, Mark. No.
Right, yeah.
But it might. I mean, I still think we're cheaper than we would be to pay a full-time employee
Oh,
because
yeah,
the
for sure.
learning curve to get the knowledge that she
Mhm.
has is through trial and error, and her approach is completely different than any other marketing agency, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
his videos tell the story better than anyone.
Looking forward
For
to the next
sure.
Everybody
video
loves
shoot.
Cooper.
I know. What do you want to do?
I've been thinking about it. I don't know, but I've kind of had something envisioned showing these guys on some of these new houses, some of the work we're
Mm.
doing, or some of the service guys in
Yeah.
action, something
Yeah.
along those
But
lines.
not like the cheesy clip art, or like
No.
the same guy with a fake taking a wrench to it. No, like I mean, like
No.
like them crawling through the attic. Cooper's in there showing the
some legit
the, le-
footage.
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
insulation coming off their arms.
You
The
just
sweat
nailed
in
it.
the
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show it. We're gonna make a video that
Sorry,
showcases
Cooper, you're gonna.
It's gonna get hot.
hard
Your job's hard.
how hard
It's
this job
so
is.
hard,
That's
Mark.
you're exactly right. Good,
Yeah.
good
Your
call.
employees are stellar, and the girls who run the front. Shout
Rock
out to
stars.
them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just I love every single one of your employees.
Got a good
love,
group.
You really do.
Shout
You
out to
really
all you guys
do.
as well.
Yes, yes. And and I also thought it would be neat to make a short one showcasing all the commercial places that you're in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize when they're sitting in State Street that, you did that.
Yeah.
Oak and Eden is beautiful.
Yeah,
and
thank
to look at the ductwork, is that
It's amazing how ductwork can be pretty.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So I thought about putting like with music, like going in and out of the, the
That's a good
commercial
idea.
properties just to show like this is what our team did.
Yeah,
and
great
it's-
idea.
and it look, so look up.
That's all right.
Well, I think Cooper needs to go doctor his eye, and we need to get out.
He's gonna rag on you.
I
Rag
have been
I've
studying
never.
it.
It literally looks like you got a chicken pecked your eyeball.
Yeah, I don't know what it came.
It's
I
such
don't know
a
what happened.
precise line.
It is just a
too.
straight line across. It started off as just kind of a big dot. Now it's turned to a big line. It's been a couple of days. I don't know what
How's your
happened.
vision, bro?
I can see.
I hope
can
it's
see
nothing
clearly.
serious. Or we're
I can
gonna
see. I don't know. I don't know. I woke up
the
and
next
it was this
podcast.
Yeah.
Well, Cooper's missing.
Guys, Cooper's in the hospital because his eye got
Please pray for Cooper. Well, thanks for you're a great friend. I mean,
likewise.
people are surprised once again. Like, you're friends with Mark Ary? I'm like, hell yeah, I am. Like, he is a good dude.
well,
We
you're a great friend too,
own-
Marie.
We
I'll
own
look on each other's
businesses. We always focus on
What's
what
that?
we have in common, not like
Yep.
what we
That's
disagree
right.
on.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for being on. This is awesome.
Appreciate
it's been
it
a
very much.
great conversation.
Yep. All right, roll the music.
Michael,
Michael, sign us out. You got this one.
Oh, and you look really
Oh, you
nice
got the
today.
mic off
he's
today?
got crickets. That's what we were experiencing. Was the crickets.
Oh, I was like, is
Turns
that
off
a wheel?
Like
I didn't know what was
Michael
going
and then
on.
crickets.
Thank you guys for joining the Branded Film and Media
Yes.
Podcast in Decatur, Texas, episode number 7 with Mark Ary and Ary
Yes,
Co.
good job.
in the books. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for signing our door.
Thank you.
See you, man.